This is the Hoops League Association on Hoops League TV. Tonight, it's the Chicago Blues against the Vancouver Summit. The Season 9 HLA Finals, Game 2. And it is indeed time for Game 2 after the Vancouver Summit dispatched to the Chicago Blues in Game 1 with a 77-63 wire-to-wire victory. Vancouver now just 3 wins away from their inaugural championship after, yet again, it must be mentioned, not even making the playoffs prior to this season. They've only lost twice so far, but Chicago is surely not going to go down without a fight. Walter Yensid, Shaka Zulu, Jaga C, and the core of veterans on the Blues will be sure to make sure the Summit have to fight for their right to win a title. Game 2 in Vancouver, coming up after the break. So a change to the lineup here by the Chicago Blues that we take a look at before we start this game. Just Cyclops Inc. today, by the way, pulling a Scully as they call it, and recording this one on my own. Sindor, Drago, and Walter Yensid still in the backcourt. Yensid with just a 5-point performance in Game 1, something he will certainly be looking to build off of. Samuel James still at the 3, but Shaka Zulu replaces Danny Dingus in the starting lineup, perhaps to counter the overwhelming offense they saw in the first half of the Game 1 from James Murray. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in Shaka Zulu will get his first start of these playoffs. Jaga C, meanwhile, in the front court with him, the three-head monster of Yensid, Zulu, and Jaga, responsible for the first championship in Hoops League and Chicago Blues history, will look to propel them to victory here in Game 2. For Vancouver, it's the same lineup that has gotten them this far. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Zay Kighton, whose 12-assist performance in Game 1 propelled the Vancouver offense to an early advantage that it never rescinded. Jordan Covington, who earned Player of the Game honors with a 24-point effort. Joshua Owens, who hit double digits in his finals debut. And the aforementioned James Murray alongside Jamison J. Lee at the 4 and the 5. It's Chicago, it is Vancouver, and it is Game 2 of the HLA Finals, Season 9, coming to you live. So the tip-off won by Vancouver, and Kighton will take this one to the rack. Kicks out to Lee, drives on James and throws it down! Too small was Samuel James, and Walter Yensid got caught in the air as well. Jamison J. Lee throws that one down. Zulu will throw it down at the other end as Chicago able to respond quickly. Shaka Zulu, obviously not his best season, has struggled to fit in with this changing Chicago squad, as now the Blues force a turnover, and Sindor Drago will rush to the rack and lay that one in. Drago struggled in that first game. Now Yensid gets his hands on this one. Covington deep 2, yes! And obviously a key to this one, as Mehdi Aziz mentioned, coach of the Chicago Blues will be containing Jordan Covington. James Murray in transition does not get the 3. It's the first minute gone by, and it is a 4-4 affair. Already closer than it was to start the last game. Drago outside to Yensid, his 3, no good. And Murray will collect the miss. Tipped now by Yensid, he gets the steal, and Jaga in transition. Kicks out to Drago, his 3, no. Hops out of bounds. And Vancouver will take over. Chicago has struggled from three-point range consistently in these playoffs, but it hasn't hindered them. Although it might just if Jordan Covington keeps knocking these down. Covington's 3 makes it a 7-4 game in the early stages. And that one will go for Sindor Drago. Welcome sight for Chicago Blues fans after his struggles in Game 1. Quick at the other end, Covington found himself wide open. Poor transition defense, and Jordan Covington already has 8 points for the Summit. Drago, cross to Yensid. Yensid to the rack! And those old knees didn't stop him from getting up and throwing it down. Got into the restricted area. 2 points, 2 assists, 2 steals already, and a quick start for Walter Yensid. Here's Covington, though. No good. And Zulu, interestingly, guarding him on that possession. Grabbed the rebound, did Zulu. Now looking at a horns formation as Yensid in the corner cannot hit the three once again. Joshua Owens will collect it. Kighton, now Covington, well defended again, didn't matter! Jordan Covington continues his phenomenal start to the game in what has been a truly phenomenal playoff performance. He's got 11 points in the first 2.5 minutes of Game 2. Drago with a crowd silencer at the other end. Zay Kighton will want to play a little bit closer to Sindor Drago if he's going to shoot like that today. This one's going to go the other way. An offensive foul called on Murray. And this will give Chicago an opportunity to bring in Raja Rose. Coming off the bench, as we discussed in Game 1, there we will get to the rack and lay that one in and make it 14-13. Now a turnover by the Summit, but the Blues give it right back as Zulu couldn't hold on. And Ling takes advantage of the size disadvantage for Raja Rose and throws it down. Vancouver's offense throughout these playoffs has been an interesting mix of both attacking the rack and knocking down the three ball. A bit of an outside-in approach as Drago takes one from outside and strokes it. 11 points for him in the early going. Kighton, that's good! Zay Kighton from downtown will rattle it home. So these two trading leads after Vancouver led wire-to-wire last game. Chicago now makes it the 6th lead change in the first 4 minutes of action. Minute 32 to go in this first quarter, 19-18. Blues on top. Covington now faces the double and gives it away. There is Zulu getting the steal, and Drago to the rack. Puts 2 more through. How about Sindor Drago with 13 points and 3 assists in the first 4 minutes? Covington had it poked away again. Zulu on him like glue. Owens gets to the rack. Can't get it. Rebound, Eddie. Threw it down. Collected his own miss. And punched it back through. Timeout, Chicago. So a near platoon swap. Yensid comes back in. Short rest for him. And Ren Alex will bring it up the floor. Vancouver also makes some changes. And it's Parker and Kaneko guarding. There, a Dingus slipped through as Yensid found him. Broke the double team, got it to him, and Danny Dingus, who was the leading scorer at halftime for Chicago last game, the former Vancouver Summit player, matter of fact, gets his first 2 there. Marcus Smith. Backing in, does not get a rebound. Ren Alex. 34 seconds to go in this first quarter. Here is Rose, now back out to Alex, and then Yensid trading with Alex. Shot clock winding down. Ren Alex got it! How about the 3 with his feet parallel to the tip of the logo from Ren Alex? And Chicago with a 6-point advantage. Now about an 11-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Landon Curry cannot respond for Vancouver. Rebounded by Dingus. Chicago can effectively hold for the last shot. Alex working it in. Backs in on Fiedelac. Fiedelac could not stop the hook shot there. Alex got it to go 28-20. The three-quarter court heave is short. And that concludes the first quarter. 28-20. In advantage of the Blues, who shoot 12 of 15 from the floor. A great offensive quarter. We'll see if Vancouver can respond as we roll right along to the second. Raja Rose remains on the floor to start this second quarter. Here is Ren Alex off his feed. And that one poked out of bounds. Good job by Fiedelac as Alex would have had an open lane to the bucket there had he not done it. Alex holding, now gives to Rose. Fadeaway two, tough shot, no good. Smith tracks down the loose ball, and Fedalak will get the Summit started the other way. Aaron Fedalak, formerly of Chicago and Boston, set up there to Curry, did not go. Landed Curry with two misses early. Had to adapt to the bench role, did Curry, after Covington returned to Vancouver. As Alex misses that three, and has done so pretty effectively, but struggling to start this game. Fedalak finds Parker. Romaine Parker back out to Fedalak, and then to Parker again, working on Yensid. Double team comes, Parker got it! Hopped off the back rim and in. Romaine Parker, who played a lot better in a Summit jersey this season than a Portland Roses jersey, added some valuable two-way contributions to the team, as Alex adding some valuable bench contributions for Chicago. 7 points from him, and the Blues maintain their 8-point advantage. Here is Parker on a three. No. Rebound tipped, and Dingus able to pull it down. 3:35 to go in this second quarter, 30-22. Yensid three ball, still cannot find the range from out there, 0 for 3 today. Fedalak initiates the other way, step back, shot, no good. Rebound tipped out, and it is collected by Fedalak in the backcourt. Great job to track it down before it went out of bounds. Curry spin move, did not get it. Summit can't take the lid off the basket to start the second quarter here. Alex to Rose, step back, two, no. Smith on the glass. Fedalak given a wide berth by Ren Alex here. Able to loop it into Curry. Shook off Rose, then kicked it back out to Fedalak. Shot clock winding down. Curry contested, did not go. And the Blues playing lockdown defense, but still their margin only at 8. Dingus rolls to the rack. Backing in on Kaneko. Hook shot from Dingus is good. Timeout, Vancouver. Facing a double-digit deficit for the first time in this finals. The starting unit back in, save for James Murray. That one tipped by Drago, but ended up with Kighton, who is able to lay it in. And Vancouver gets their first bucket in over 2 minutes of game time. Drago. Double teamed, threw it out of bounds. He was looking for Dingus and could not find him. Good defensive pressure, as James Murray will check back into this game. Kighton to Owens. Great move to shake off Drago. Whew. He shook him off like a dog shakes off water in the rain, and that one made to look too easy for Vancouver. Cut the lead to 6. That one rebounded by Lee after Drago missed it. Had that prolific first quarter, but couldn't continue it with a make here. Kighton short on the three. Rebound Lee! And Jamison J. Lee! Another dunk! He's up to 6 points. He's gotten them all by putting the ball straight through the hoop with 2 hands. That one missed by Drago again. Lee gets another rebound, his 4th. Lee to the rack. Rolling, got it again! This time one hand! How about Jamison J. Lee? Policing the rack. Yensid across to Drago. Got it! Big time 3 there. Chicago had given up an 8-0 run as soon as the starters came back in for Vancouver. Now, 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in the first half. Covington. What are you going to do about that shot? Too easy. And yet, so hard to defend. Rose to the rack. Speaking of easy, the lane opened up for him there like a 7-Eleven. Kighton over to Owens. Floated that one up and in. 6-foot hook. And Joshua Owens has 6 points in this first half, continuing his solid play in the finals. Jaga splits a double and does his own Jamison J. Lee impression. And has some words for him after the jam. His first points of this first half. 39-34, 40 seconds to go. Here is Owens, perimeter. Did not go. Rebound, Jaga. fought for it and got it away from Lee. Here goes Jaga running the court. Oh my goodness! Like Babe Ruth, he calls his own shot and throws it down on James Murray. Wire to wire, rack to rack from Jaga. That one blocked from behind by Dingus as Covington had a great look at net. And Chicago rallying after the Vancouver run. Triple team on Drago. Yensid gets it to Dingus, now back out to Drago. Again faces the double, goes to Jaga, the floater, no. 6 seconds to go, shot clock off. Covington taking it the other way for Vancouver. Facing a double team, takes a deep two, does not get it. And that is going to do it for this first half of action. 41-34. The Blues over the Summit. A brief halftime analysis after the break. So we welcome you into the halftime booth. Cyclops Inc. here again, but going to bring in a special guest, Cyclips Incorporated. It's featured on last season's finals broadcast. Cyclips, welcome to the booth. Yeah, it's great to be here, and doing these final games is always a pleasure. So, we've had some good basketball in this first half, which is something we couldn't necessarily say at the last halftime. Yeah, it's a good point. In that the offense has been much more prolific from Chicago in particular. Vancouver still not playing up to necessarily their standard, but well within striking range. Well, Chicago, though they cooled off from that first quarter, in which they were really scintillating, absolutely playing the best basketball they've played in the 2 games so far. 100%. And what's impressive to me is they're doing it still well. Walter Yensid is not getting it done to the extent that we are familiar with him getting it done. I mean, he has not been able to make it happen on the perimeter. But Sindor Draghi, you can see it here, 16 points, 4 3-pointers in that first half, plus 4 assists. He has been the counterpunch to Jordan Covington, and there was going to have to be someone to step up for Chicago. We all kind of assumed it would be Yensid, but Drago has been that guy so far. Interesting that we have gotten a look now at the rotation for Zulu. Maybe the pregame discussion was that he would come in to defend Murray, but instead, he has gotten the assignment of Covington. What do you think of that so far? Well, Covington still gets to his spots. We saw that fade away towards the end of the half. Obviously, 13 points tells you that he's still getting his shots up, and that's just what he's going to do. He's a phenomenal player. But so is Zulu, and, anytime you have a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, granted, he's a big man. Defending, though, things are going to be different, and we can see it in the turnover numbers. Half of those turnovers came from Jordan Covington because of the on-ball pressure that Zulu was applying. And they aren't just doing it with Zulu. They are bringing the double team and daring Jordan Covington to beat them with the pass. So far, hasn't been able to do it. 10 assists apiece, though, for Chicago and Vancouver. Meanwhile, Vancouver winning on the glass. And let's talk a little bit about Jamison J. Lee, who was really, for my money, the best player on the Summit in that first half. Well, I don't know if I would go there. I mean, he did have a very good first half. And I think his contributions as not just a rebounder, but really as a vibes guy, someone who turns the team around. He's one of the most consistent guys when it comes to bringing the energy when he's on the floor. And he is, at this point, one of the longest tenured Vancouver Summit. In fact, I think he is the longest tenured Summit player. So for him to be able to provide the motivation that he did with his 8 points, all of them coming on dunks in that first half, I think that's really been a key to keeping them within range. Even if Covington is more flashy in terms of the box score stuff, Jamison J. Lee, in addition to his impact on the glass, has really been influential in an intangible way. Now, Chicago shot 64.3% in that first half, 5 of 11 from downtown. Vancouver, 4 of 13. And 15 of 30 overall from downtown and the field, respectively. Can Chicago keep this up? And if they can't, then what do they have to do to win in the second half? Well, I think it's pretty simple. They do need to keep it up if they want to take this one home and go back to the Windy City with a 1-1 scoreline in the series. But if they are not able to, then you need to turn up the defensive pressure even more. You're winning the stocks battle 6-2 so far. And 30.8 is about where you want to see Vancouver shooting. But you're still only up 7 points. I mean, this speaks to how incredible this Summit team really is. The way they're playing together cohesively is phenomenal. And you look at how the starters played. You know, Vancouver had the 10-point deficit. The starters came in, they immediately went on an 8-0 run. I think for Chicago to win, yeah, they need to turn up the defensive pressure, but also you have to win the minutes where the starters are not on the floor. You usually take 4 out of 5 of them off at a time. Reese Kaneko's the guy who plays a little bit more. He's in effect the 6th man because they give Murray a bit more rest. Win those minutes when Kyton and Covington are not on the floor. That's the key to the game. We will see if Chicago is able to do it. 41-34 at the break. 2 more quarters of basketball coming your way. Getting you started here in the second half. Cyclops Inc. here. The Chicago Blues sporting the 7-point advantage. See if they can hold on and prevent themselves from going down 2-0. In the finals, Drago drives to the rack. Well defended by Lee. Didn't matter. How about Drago snugly fit that one in against the inside of the front rim. And it trickles through to make it a 9-point lead. Owens quickly hits an elbow jumper at the other end. As that 17-footer puts it right back to 7. Here is Yensid, spun around the defense. What a move! Walter Yensid still with the handles. And despite his struggles to score, he has 4 points, but 6 assists on the day to go with 2 steals. Always giving you something is Yensid. That one knocked down by Covington. The defense late to get there, and he made him pay. Drago, now Yensid. Rolling, got a little bit of a moving screen there from Jaga, who, as he was running his route, kind of pushed around Lee, and it gave Yensid the space he needed to get to the rack. 2 quick buckets there from Yensid. Covington can't hit that 3, though he did get a good look at it, and Jaga will grab the board. That one turned over by Jaga as James Murray jumps in the way of the passing lane. Here is Kyton, well defended by Yensid, still able to get it out in the corner, and Jordan Covington loves it. Got the look he wanted there and knocked it down. He's now 5 of 7 from downtown. And it's a 5-point game. Yensid yet to hit a 3. Still can't do it. Hopped off the back of the rim and into Covington's waiting arms. Covington at the other end. This time, no. Jaga able to get that one. Drago sets up. Had Dingus underneath, couldn't get it to him. Instead goes to James, and James will knock down a 3. His first bucket of the game. Dingus got him a little bit of room with the screen. And it's 50-42 with 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Chicago on top. Covington, great find there. And able to lay it in. Just got behind the defense. And Jordan Covington able to dominate both at the rack and on the perimeter. Yensid goes for the reverse jam. And a back to the future feature from the 3-time MVP. He's got 6 points in this third quarter. Kyton rarely looks for his own shot, but takes a step back and finishes that one beautifully over Yensid. Drago facing the zone, kicks to Yensid, another 3-point attempt, still cannot get it to go. And you do have to wonder if Yensid ought to pass it off from the perimeter at this point. Clearly not his day from outside. Kyton, now to Covington. That 3 is good! Jordan Covington having his day from outside. And it looked like they were going to bring the double with Jaga, but could not rotate in time. And as it stands, Covington has matched his point total from the first game with 24. Drago facing a bit of a triple team here. Manages to fire one up. That doesn't go. Rebound was tipped up, and Lee ended up grabbing it. Zulu slapped it into the middle, but there were no red shirts waiting. And Lee! How about that? from the semicircle. Takes flight and makes a safe landing on the rim runway. 52 apiece, we are tied. That one turned over by Drago, no one there. Summit on the run. Owens, bang, from the corner. Left alone. And he makes the Blues pay. He's up to double digits. Vancouver with their first lead since the first quarter. Drago, 3-ball. That's good. Big time response. And possession after possession, when the Blues have needed a bucket, it has been Sindor Drago. Kyten did not get it. Zulu grabbed it off the carom. And Zulu will try a 3. That's no good. And once again, questionable shot selection by the Blues. Covington transition found in the mid-range. What a find, what a finish. The Vancouver offense really humming in this second half. They've already scored 20 points and still a minute to go in this third quarter. Pardon, 23 points. That one took a hop off the rim for Drago. And now Rose will come in to give Yensid a breather. Covington to Kaneko. Kaneko has Rose on him. Got a great find in there to Kyten, who kicks it back out to Covington. Now Kaneko, the mid-range is good. And Reese Kaneko, the veteran, stints in Portland where he played in the Season 1 Finals against Chicago, Atlanta, and Miami, gets his first bucket of this one. Blocked by Lee. There was Rose inside. Jamison J. Lee getting it done on both ends. That one turned over, though, as Covington continues to struggle with ball control. Great feed by Drago to Rose, and Raja Rose with 8 points as he lays that one in. Cuts it to 2. 59-57, Vancouver on top in this third quarter. About a 3.5 second difference between the shot and game clock. Missed there by Covington. Rebound went to James. 4 seconds to go in the third. Here is Drago to Zulu to Drago. The 3. Good! At the horn! Sindor Drago! Dagger Drago! With another big shot. 60-59. Chicago on top after all that in the third quarter. And the fourth quarter coming right to you. A 1-point game with 5 minutes on the clock in Game 2 of the Season 9 HLA Finals. No better place to be. Here is Kyten, pirouetting to the rack and securing a double-double. 10 points and 14 assists. Another stellar effort from the young star point guard. Again missed from 3 there, as Chicago has really struggled from downtown, save for Drago in the second half. Covington over Zulu. That's a tough order. And it winds up going out of bounds. Jaga inbounds to Drago, who faces a double, and now the double release. Drago trying to make sense of this labyrinth of Vancouver defenders. Step back three-pointer was short. Rebound Zulu. Shakes off Kaneko and misses the jam! Point blank opportunity for Shaka Zulu, and he could not get it. Kaneko, meanwhile, trying to take advantage of the size mismatch, but that one missed by Covington after he kicked it out. Rebound stayed with Vancouver. Here's Covington again. No! And he has lost his shot in the last couple of minutes here. But Chicago unable to take advantage, still trailing by 1. James left it short, and Joshua Owens may have affected that shot. Finding himself as a two-way player on the biggest stage here is Joshua Owens. Kaneko! Again! Finds a way to exploit Raja Rose defensively. And he's got 4 big points off the bench to go with 3 rebounds. 3:33 to go in the fourth. 63-60. Vancouver leading Chicago. Missed there by Rose. Collected by Kyten. Kyten to Covington at the other end. No. Jordan Covington's shot has really betrayed him in this second half. Even so, hard to take the ball away from him with how he's been playing. Missed there by Rose. Rebound by Zulu again on the offensive glass. Here is Rose outside for 3. No. And both Rose and Yensid absolutely unable to find the bottom of the net from downtown today. A combined 0 for 9 to this point. Lee at the top of the key. Left it way short. My goodness. Jamison J. Lee with a shot to forget. He airballs the free throw line jumper. And Chicago will take it the other way. Almost halfway through this third quarter. As James shakes off Owens, but blocked by Kaneko! Reese Kaneko giving Vancouver big minutes off the bench. And he'll get a standing ovation as he heads back in favor of James Murray. That one well found. Zulu ended up all alone due to a defensive miscommunication, and he cuts the lead back down to 1. Covington guarded by Zulu, now double teamed. Gave it away. Drago gets the steal this time. Another turnover by Covington, and Drago will lay it in to give the Blues the lead. 26-10 points and assists for Sindor Drago today. Lee had it poked away on the pass by Zulu. Shaka Zulu wreaking havoc defensively. Here is Zulu at the other end working on now Chitin. Now a bit of a triple team. Kicks it out to Drago. He'll try a 3. No. Rebound Owens as we dip under 2 minutes to go in a 1-point game. 64-63 the visiting Blues leading. Owens 3. Yes, sir! Joshua Owens from the top of the key behind the arc. Big time shot. He's up to 14 points, and Vancouver's back in front by 2. Yensid checks into the game. Here's Drago. Tries another 3. No. And Lee collects the miss. Chitin, step back. Covington off the feed. Back to Chitin. And now Covington again. His 3. No. And it hopped out of bounds. Before Owens could secure it, it'll go the other way. 122 and counting. Blues. With the ball down 2. Here is Drago. Got it into Yensid. Backing in on Covington. Now back out to Drago. Another 3 for Drago. Short. Rebounded by Lee. Here is Covington to the other end. Over Zulu. His shot short, but Lee, another rebound. Jamison J. Lee, hook shot. Yes, it rolls in. 12 points, 9 rebounds. And JJL with the REBs making it happen for Vancouver. Up by 4. The crowd getting loud here in Peaks Park. Yensid left it short. It hopped off the top of the backboard and somehow ended up back with Chicago as Jaga with a little push layup gets it to go and cuts the lead to 2. 68-66. Covington another 3. Cannot find the nail to hammer into the Blues coffin. And now they have a chance to tie once again. Jaga, push shot. Didn't get it! Could not make the point-blank shot. He was only lightly defended, but was off balance. Chitin, step back, goes to Covington. Now Murray, now Chitin. 16 seconds. Covington, back to Chitin. Deep 3. Short. And then it hops out of bounds with 12.4 to go. 3 timeouts for Chicago, and they will take one now as they trail by 2 to advance the ball. Drago to Yensid. Yensid double team. Yensid inside to Drago. Little layup short. Lee rebounds and is fouled. Got the look he wanted, but Drago's legs betray him and he leaves it short. Now 5.1 seconds to go. Jordan Covington will head to the line. Misses the first. And so the Blues are going to have a chance to tie this thing, make or miss. Second one doesn't go. Rebound. Zulu. Timeout Chicago to advance it again with 5 seconds to go. Down 2. 68-66. Yensid backing in. Out to Drago. 3 for the win. No! Off the front rim. And the Vancouver Summit have taken a 2-0 lead in this series. Unbelievable. Well, they never said it was going to be pretty or easy. But the Vancouver Summit, in what is ultimately a 15-point quarter between the two teams in the final frame, are just able to hang on by the skin of their teeth to take a commanding 2-0 lead as the series shifts to Chicago. Jordan Covington again was fantastic with a 26-point performance, though he struggled mightily in the second half. Take a closer look at the rest of the box score here. as the Vancouver Summit grit their teeth and get dirty to take game 2. Drago with 26 to match Covington, not enough for Chicago. And overall, a strong effort from the Blues for most of the game, but simply unable to hold on when push came to shove. Multiple cracks at tying the game, the missed shot by Jaga and the missed shot by Drago. And then the final miss from Drago that would have won the game. Whether by 2 or by 20, it's all the same in a 4-game series, and Vancouver now has a 2-point advantage in that 4-point game. Can Chicago rally as the series shifts to Illinois? We'll have that one for you soon on Hoops League TV. For now, I've been Cyclops Inc. I was joined by Cyclips Incorporated. You've been watching the Season 9 HLA Finals on Hoops League TV. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you again soon for Game 3.